date is March 31st, 2019. We are at the Yankee Air Museum in Belleville, Michigan. The time is 4:45 p.m. Today, the person being interviewed is Virginia Hines Basler. Virginia was born on May 27th, 1923. Virginia worked at the Ford B-24 bomber plant at Willow Run during World War II. This interview will be conducted by Claire Kitchen-Dahl. This interview will be videotaped by Gary Delisle. The observer present today is Arden Basler. And this interview is being conducted on behalf of the Oral History Project at the Yankee Air Museum in Belleville, Michigan. Virginia, thank you for coming to the Yankee Air Museum today to share your memories of working at the Willow Run B-24 bomber plant during the war years. By preserving your story of working on the home front during World War II, our national narrative will be more complete, honest, colorful, and accurate. Primary documentation is vital to any study of that world conflict, and we appreciate your willingness to help fill in the gaps. So to begin, would you give us your full name, including your maiden name?
Virginia May Hines Basler.
And when were you born?
I was born May the 27th, 1923 in Alpena, Michigan.
Alpena, Michigan. And where is Alpena, Michigan, if you know the state?
It's almost to the tip of your index finger on the left hand.
Okay, so it's a very northern city, a cold,
Yes.
snowy...
It's on Thunder Bay, Lake Huron.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you grew up in a hardy spot. You had to be hardy to live in Alpena. What about your father? What was his name and his occupation?
My father's name was George Hines, and he was a farmer.
And what about your mother?
My mother was Eva Dent Hines, and she taught school until she was married, and then she could no longer teach school, so she raised kids.
Well, good for her. She taught kids and then she raised kids. Do you know whether she was paid well during that time?
She was paid $20 a month. $5 was for rent for a room to live in. $5 was to rent a horse to take her to school. And I guess she got the rest of the $10 to spend how she wanted.
Well, good for her.
Yeah.
And then did you tell me one point she worked at the bomber plant too?
She worked probably for a week or so. She came down and she got a job, but then she left to go work at the hospital, university, because my father was a patient there and had been for many months.
All right, so she then went to the University of Michigan Hospital to work. Okay.
Yes.
And what about your mother's lifespan? How long did she live?
She lived to 107.
That is incredible. That was a nice long time you had her, and I'm sure she was filled with lots of stories.
Yeah, she had a lot of stories because she liked to tell how she used to travel by horse and buggy, and later she was flying on airplanes to go places.
See, the lifespan of these people, what they saw, and even during that time period, she saw traveling space.
Yeah, she went through 2 world wars and all kinds of things, computers from a pencil, and big pens from dipping a pen on an inkwell. And
incredible. It really is. Those stories are fabulous. Okay, so what was Alpena like when you grew up there? Was it a big town, a little?
It was a small town. It was 12,000 people, and a very quiet town. They had a cement factory or plant up there where they said Huron Portland cement was on the, picked up by boat, so I guess it was on the lake.
So you saw lots of boats while you were growing up?
Oh yeah, you saw boats coming and going all the time when you were up there.
And this was Lake Huron?
Yes.
Thunder Bay. Today there's the Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary up there.
Yes, there's NOAA.
Oh, is that what that's called?
It's called NOAA.
All right.
NAA.
NAA. And it's the, today they even have the Lafarge Wholesome Cement Plant. So even
Yeah.
today, Alpena is producing
that's what
cement.
it is now. Yeah.
Great. Did you know that one of the important things about Alpena is that Leon Zolgos, who assassinated President McKinley, was born in Alpena, Michigan?
Who?
Leon Zolgos. He is the assassin of President McKinley, and he was born in Alpena.
I didn't know he was born in Alpena, but I know he had a cousin that lived in Alpena that was kind of, people.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? I mean, that's a real historic connection.
You don't have to put that in.
All right. Well,
Who wants to brag about an assassin?
no, I'm talking about Alpena. And that's just one more important thing about Alpena. Besides the fact that you lived there, we also have that little historic note. Now, what about your siblings? How many children were in the family with you?
I had a sister 3 years older than I, and I have a brother 3 years younger than I.
And what were their names?
Jane and Jim.
Jean and Jim. And you are the middle child.
Yeah, I'm a middle kid.
All right. So are you one of those stereotypical middle childs?
I was a very serious middle too. Yes.
Good.
I was a middle child, yes.
Now, what about your house and your family life like? What kind of a house did you have up there?
We had a stone house, a 2-story stone house, and 4 bedrooms upstairs, and huge closet. It was built in an L shape, so you had in my bedroom came down onto a slant, and yeah.
Did you have indoor plumbing?
No. The plumbing was a distance from the house.
And how about chores? Did you have chores to do?
Oh yeah, we all had chores to do, shovel snow in the winter and work in the yard in the summer, like my mother's garden in the summer, and
Wood to stack for the heater or for the coal, or wooden stove?
Oh, we had a wooden stove and heated by a coal furnace in our basement that heated the house.
And is that house still standing?
Oh, yes.
Good. What about your schooling in Alpena?
I went to a country school for 8 years, and then I went to the high school in Alpena.
And did you graduate?
No,
How come?
I just
Stopped schooling.
stopped schooling. I just didn't like it.
Okay. And so you said, enough, I'm
Yeah.
done. All right, well, now most of us remember today where we were when John Kennedy was assassinated or when the 9/11 towers were attacked. Do you remember one of the biggest things in your lifetime was the attack on Pearl Harbor?
Yes, I think it was.
Can you tell us?
It scared me because there was a war and Pearl Harbor was, not a state yet, but it was, the country was kind of like, it was like Puerto Rico is now,
Absolutely, sure. Did you hear about it on the radio or?
I know my uncle came to the house and he told us he'd heard it on the radio. Now, I don't know if it was in his car because I don't know if they had radios in the car that time, but I do know he'd heard it someplace, and he said that the Japanese had blown up Pearl Harbor.
And your father, you told me, had been in the war. He had been in World War I.
He hadn't been in World War I, but he'd been in the service before World War I.
Okay, so he knew what was involved. He knew this was going to be a big deal now that we are really in war at this point.
Well,
Now, how did your family get most of their news while you were growing up? Newspapers, radios?
a newspaper and radio.
All right, and after Pearl Harbor, did any of your friends or family members or neighbors join the service right away?
Yes, it seemed like, well, there was conscription and everybody had to sign up and, so they went.
Right.
So,
Now, why don't you tell us a little about your cousin, Clement C. Van Wagener?
well, he supposedly was the most decorated Michigan soldier or whatever. And
In World War II.
in World War II, yes, he was a
Well, he's important today. They've even named something for him, haven't they?
oh yeah, Alpena's named I don't know, what is it, a hospital or I think-
Veterans Clinic.
yeah, clinic is named after him, and several other things have been named after. I don't really know them all.
Well, when I looked it up, he was a lieutenant colonel, and he was in the 1st Infantry Division that landed on Omaha Beach. This is a very, very important military hero in your family.
He was.
And he received 7 Bronze Stars, 4 Silver Stars, and 5 Purple Hearts. Well, you should be proud of him.
Yeah, I actually, what I know about him, I've seen him and talked to him a lot of times, but, well, not recently because
Sure.
he's been gone for a while, but, you know, we never talked war. We never discussed war.
And that's happening, that is with most of the veterans and Rosies that we interview. People just say we didn't talk much about it. So
Yeah.
what happened, happened, but we didn't sit around and talk. Now, you also had another cousin killed in World War II.
Yeah, I had a cousin that was a paratrooper and he was killed. Also, his brother was in service, but nothing, he's okay.
Good.
Came home.
Well, you should be proud of the service record of your family.
Yeah.
How did your community change after war was declared? Do you remember that life in Alpena was different?
No, not so much, except that we were put on rations and could only have so much coffee, and of course a lot of the stuff that you couldn't have, my parents grew because you couldn't buy butter and things like that, which my mother, made.
Good.
So,
Well, it's good to be a farming family and to have a garden and all that and take care of yourself.
yeah, in the meat, we could prepare, my father would butcher or whatever and raise chickens, and we thought, we weren't on a meat ration like most people were.
You told me that there was one thing you couldn't buy before.
You couldn't buy shoes.
Couldn't buy shoes. Isn't that something?
You couldn't buy shoes. You
And-
could get one pair or something, and I had to buy a pair to wear to work.
And do you remember collecting things during the war? Do you remember collecting like tin foil or?
Oh, yeah, your gum was wrapped in tin foil, and you had to collect that, and string, and tin cans, and
Save your grease and all of that
oh,
stuff.
yeah, save your grease.
Oh,
Don't
my.
throw that away. It was, a lot of things that, I don't know, they said the grease was made, I think, in some kind of ammunition that they use the grease. I don't really know.
I don't know either, but I do know a lot of people saved grease.
Yeah.
Now, what did you do when you left school? You said you got tired of being in school, so you left. So what
I
job?
worked at a little factory up there that made pup tents.
Pup tents, okay.
Oh yes, all these soldiers had to have a pup tent.
And what did you do?
I made buttonholes.
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 All right, and then it was converted later on to a garment factory in 42 and 43, as many small businesses were during that time. Now, you left the pup tent factory to work where?
At the Willow Run bomber plant.
And how come you went from a pup tent to a bomber plant?
Oh, I don't know. I suppose I just wanted to move. And a friend and I came down to work at the bomber plant because it was big news, this here big plant, the biggest plant in the world.
Were you paid better here than you were?
Oh, yes, definitely. I can't remember what I got up in Alpena, probably 50 cents an hour or something like that. And down here was making $1 an hour,
Well, that is not only big news, that's big money at this point. Do you remember the name of your friend who came with you?
Oh, yeah, Ann Land.
Or Ann Leek?
Land. Hubbard. Ann Leek Land Hubbard.
Oh, okay. She's got lots of their names. All right. Did you and Ann stay in touch over the years?
Oh, yeah. We were very close friends all along. In fact, as I was with her when she died. And
well, it's a good friendship then. You've got a lot of memories if you came from Alpena together down to Willow Run. Now, what was your job when you got to Willow Run?
My job was drilling holes in the fuselage.
And you were a buttonhole maker at the pup factory, and then you were a rivet hole maker at Willow Run. So you're a hole maker, right?
I'm a hole maker, not a homemaker, but a hole maker.
Was it hard to get your job? Did you apply for that, or just say, give me something to do?
I just went in and filled out this application, and they told you, get in there and get to work.
Good. Did you have a special ID?
Oh, yeah, you had to have an ID to get in. It was a war plant, yeah.
And did you have a lot of special training for how to do this?
No training. I worked with a man, and he said, hold this up here for me, and I did, and he drilled through my thumb.
Well, I hope that you found a different partner after that.
Yes.
So did they have a pattern for you to follow on these sheets of metal or anything? Or
No.
were they marked in some way? Or how
They
did you...
just took me down to the hospital, and he, I don't know, put a Band-Aid on it and sent me back to work.
Sent you back to work. But then when you were actually working, was there a pattern that you followed as to where to put these holes?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Okay.
definitely.
And you had a special drill for that?
I had a special drill to drill the holes, and there was a little thing that we called a cleco that we stuck in to hold the two pieces together so that Rosie could
do her riveting.
do her riveting.
All right, so that cleco was just like a little clip of some sort
a
to
little
hold
thing
these.
that you stuck in there with a gun.
Okay, good. Now, was it a moving assembly line or a stationary?
No, it was stationary.
And so you had enough time to get it done.
You had enough time, and you made them and did them more. I don't know how many I put on a day, but you did them.
All right, so you had time to do it. You just stayed focused because you didn't want to drill your thumb the way that man had drilled your thumb.
Yeah.
Was your drill heavy that you had to hold?
No, it wasn't heavy.
Okay.
At least I don't remember it as being heavy.
And you were working on what part of the plane?
Fuselage.
The wing, or was that the fuselage? That's the engine or the wing? What is the fuselage?
The body part.
The body, all right. Did you work both shifts, day and night?
Yeah, we had swing shifts. You worked a month this way, or I think it was a month on one, and then you went to the night shift, break shift to night shift, yeah.
All right, and which shift did you like best?
I liked the day shift best.
How come?
Well, because I'm a human being, I'm an owl.
You're not a nocturnal animal. You like to be up during the day,
I like to
sleep at night.
I like to be up during the day.
Okay, what about lunch at the plant? Did they have a lunch wagon, or did you
They had
bring...
a wagon that went through that had sandwiches on and coffee, and, you know, if you wanted coffee, you had to take it the way it came with cream and sugar in it, or you didn't take it.
And people probably didn't complain about it either, did they?
Oh, they complained about everything.
Oh, all right. Well, there it is. Did you wear something special? Did you have an outfit?
No, nothing special. I had to have your hair tied up. You had to wear pants, and you wore a blouse or a sweater or whatever you wanted to wear. Yeah.
Good. Did you remember wearing an apron, or did your pants have pockets?
No.
No
No
aprons.
apron.
Okay. And you didn't need to hold a lot of rivets because you weren't riveting. You were drilling these holes.
I was just drilling holes.
Good. And what about your supervisors? Were they men and women, or
Just all men.
All
I
men.
had all men, yeah.
were they nice, or were they bossy, or
Yeah, they were okay people. Some were nicer than others.
do you remember any one particular supervisor?
Oh, yes, I guess I remember. I can remember something about probably
You
all
can.
of them.
All right. And one was a
But
family,
there's
you
one
know their
that,
family?
well, the one I knew his family, and his sister and I were very good friends after the war. After I met her at Kaiser's when I worked at Kaiser's. And
Okay.
we're-
Now, what did you think about the factory grounds here, the
The
landscaping?
grounds were always very pretty. I liked them because I like to work outside and I like plants and that. And it was landscaped and it just, you know, kind of nice. It wasn't some place that you felt like you're going into a brick building and that was it, because it was all landscaped. And he had the Martha Mary Chapel on the grounds and a little cottage on the grounds. And
The cottage was for visitors, for important people that
I have no
came?
idea what Kaiser used, or what Ford used it for. Kaiser used it for visitors.
Okay. And I think they did also for Ford, for important people that came to see the plant and
Yeah.
watch what was happening. So the Martha Mary Chapel now has been moved from this ground, and it is in Belleville.
Mm-hmm.
And there are several Martha Mary Chapels when you hear about Henry Ford.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You only put one on every plant, I think.
Did you feel that it was too hot or cold while you were working in the plants?
No, I don't remember about that. I don't remember about the...
How about noise? Did you wear earplugs or anything?
I didn't wear earplugs, but it was noisy, but not as noisy as the riveters.
Okay.
That was the noisy place.
Right. When you've got lots of riveting guns going at the same time. Those women really
because
did.
that was really, really the thing that everybody hated about that.
How about dirty? Did you feel it was dirty or clean?
It wasn't dirty, no. It was...
Oily floors or anything? Do you remember anything like
no,
that?
because it was pretty clean, always clean.
Good. And what about your payment? Did you feel that it was fair? You were making a lot of money.
Oh, I thought it was fair then, yes. I thought it was very fair, you know. I was...
What
Who
did,
was I to complain?
that's for sure. What did you do with your money? Did you had to pay
Usual
some?
thing, you paid your rent, you bought your food, you paid to get back and forth to work, and
Yeah. Not much of a social life, so you probably didn't spend
No.
it on things to
no,
play with.
You know, go to a movie once in a while, but yeah.
All right.
It
Now,
wasn't-
where did you and Ann live when you were down here at Willow
Well, we
Run?
first lived in the dormitories, and we stayed there until we got a room in town.
Well, tell me about the dormitory before we talk
It
about
was
the next.
just a large room with 2 twin beds and 2 dressers. Very plain. Yeah, I would say it was a step above the village that the people lived in.
Okay, yeah, well, they needed to take care of their workers.
Yeah,
So have
and then it had a community bathroom. We didn't have a bathroom on our dormitory,
Okay.
but we had theirs.
So you had, the community had sinks and showers?
Our showers were in the community thing where they had the bathrooms. And now I can't remember whether it was connected to all the dormitories or if it's a dorm, you know, maybe 2 or what. I just forget how it got, but I know it was, you had to go to the bathroom out of your room.
Okay, that's like us in the old college dorms.
Yeah.
You didn't have the facilities in your room. You had to put everything in a little bucket and go down the hall.
Yep.
Now, what about food when you were at Willow Run? Did you eat at the cafeteria?
Yeah, I ate at the cafeteria.
And what do you think about the food? Was it good?
It was good. It was, yeah, it was good food. It was just, you know, usual kind of food. And a lot of Southern people were there, and they wanted, you know, all pork and fried chicken, and that's what they wanted. They had, they liked creamed potatoes, which I call mashed potatoes, and they wanted cornbread, which to me was Johnny cake, because that's what my mother, well, that's what everybody up in Alpena called her.
Johnny cake.
A Johnny cake, but it was made with sugar where their cornbread isn't.
And then when you and Ann left the village dormitories, then you went and got a room in a rooming house in Ypsilanti.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
It was with a lady. She had 2 rooms she rented out. She worked at the Ford plant in Ypsilanti, and her mother lived with her. And she was a widow lady. Her son was in service. And she was just a very nice lady.
Did you have cooking facilities or no? This was
No.
just a room that you had in her
Just a
place.
room.
And then did you, I think one time you said you occasionally went to the Wolverine in Ypsi to eat. You sometimes said you went to the Wolverine restaurant.
Oh yeah, we went there and got our, well, I ate there. We ate there most of the time because you could get food. 50 cents you got a hot beef sandwich. And it was, you know, scoop of mashed potatoes and a vegetable and a drink, coffee
Sounds
or whatever.
Like a nice place to eat.
Oh, yes, it was.
So if you were a Southerner, you went there for your hot beef sandwich and cream potatoes, but you are going for a hot beef sandwich and mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes were given with, that was what you got on that. And they served a vegetable with it.
All right, good.
I don't
and
know.
then you two went and got an apartment in Ypsi. So
Yeah.
what about that?
It was an apartment. We had to share the bathroom with another couple. The woman's husband worked at the plant and she stayed home. They had a kid. I think it was about a year old.
Okay.
It was just a very small, young child.
But it was a nice place to live.
Yeah, it was nice. It was.
And did you have laundry facilities?
Oh no, you did it in the bathtub or else you sent it out.
Oh, okay. So did you do your own laundry in your bathtub?
Small
Sometimes.
pieces.
Okay. And then you had to put it on a clothesline.
Well, yeah, in our kitchen.
Oh, in the kitchen.
And you couldn't wash your sheets in the bath.
Of course not. Too much trouble.
Yeah.
Now, how did you and Ann get to work?
You know, different ways. She worked different hours than I did, and you get a ride with somebody that was picking up different people. I had different people that I rode with at different times because maybe this one shift would change and you would get a ride with somebody. They get gas rations because they could taking people to work.
Was there a bus that you could ever take?
There was no bus. There was something that we used to call it the cattle car, and it was a big wagon, actually, a closed-in wagon. It had seats along the sides, and if you're lucky you got a seat, but most of the time you were the last one on and you got to stand up all the way. And I can't remember how this darn thing got there. I don't know if it was driven by a tractor or a truck. But it was.
Well, it doesn't sound totally comfortable. Did you have to hold on to straps or anything?
You didn't have anything to hold on to, but you're packed in there so tight. It was a bit like dominoes. If one fell, everybody was down.
That's a great memory, really. You would expect that Willow Run would have a little bit classier way to get these workers to the plant, but anyway, at least they got you to the plant.
They got us to the plant, and that was the only thing they were interested in.
That's great. Now, what about your parents? Did they think your job was good? Were they concerned or pleased or not much reaction?
No reaction after all. Yeah.
Well, your dad was ill, and he was at the hospital, and your mom was working there, so
Yeah.
everybody was just doing something.
Right.
Yeah. Did you ever see any black workers at
I
Willow Run?
never saw any black workers that I can remember of seeing any black workers, but I was talking to this man last Monday, and he said he rented apartments, and he had on a book the list of all the people, the women that rented this one apartment on one page, and on the other page he had a list of all the black people that he rented the black back apartment to.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And so there was black people there, but
You didn't see too many. You had a friend at one point named Alma that you talked to me one other time, and I think she was black.
Alma?
Alma?
No, Alma wasn't black. Alma
Okay.
was.
All right, now.
She was the lady that I worked with the longest at the plant. We became very good friends.
Okay, good. Now, when you think of your general memories of working at Willow Run, are they basically positive or negative? Was it a good time period for
Oh,
you?
it was a good time, yes. It was a good time.
Good. You were there. You were doing something important. You were doing something
I was
valuable.
young and everything was fun, and
There it was.
yeah.
So then, why did you leave Willow Run in April of 1945?
I joined the Spars.
What is the SPARS?
Spars is a Coast Guard lady.
Now, why did you join the Coast Guard?
Well, I joined the Coast Guard because their training camp when I signed up was in Key West, which sounded a lot nicer than Alpena. And when I got in to do training, it was at Manhattan Beach, Brooklyn, New York, and it wasn't much warmer than Alpena.
Well, you were 21 years old by then.
Yeah.
You were eligible to be in the service.
Yeah.
And they also gave you a classy uniform, right?
Right, yes.
Well, let me mention this. Let me say what this is about the SPARS. SPARS. It was the U.S. or United States Coast Guard Women's Reserve, signed into law by Franklin Roosevelt in 1942 to release officers and men for sea duty and to replace them with women at shore stations. And SPARS stands for Semper Paratus, always ready. That's where the SPARS comes from. And it was created for the duration of the war under the Treasury Department initially, and then to the Navy Department. So now tell us then, when you actually got to your Manhattan Beach, what was training like? What was your boot camp or anything like?
Yeah, well, the boot camp was just, well, we did a lot of marching. You had to march. You learned how to salute. You learned to go out there, you know, get up in the morning for taps and go out there at night for taps. And you did a lot of cleaning or whatever they decided. You went to school. You took a lot of classes and did a lot of things. And
you enjoyed it?
oh, yeah.
Good. It was the
Met a
largest.
lot of people. And
Well, you know, it was the largest, Manhattan Beach, New York, is the largest Coast Guard training station for men. Did you have much interaction with the men?
well, no, it was very, you were not supposed to have any reaction with them, but it was there. And just across the fence was a training station for the Merchant Marines. Oh, there was men all around us.
Men all around, and here you are in this beautiful
man,
uniform.
Couldn't.
Okay, so Virginia, we went and looked at your uniform at the Ypsilanti Historical Museum, and would you tell us about this uniform while we put some pictures into the video about it? What color was your uniform?
Navy blue.
Navy blue, and you had on the top collars the symbols of
The cross anchors, which
cross
is the
anchors.
symbol of the Coast Guard, is the cross anchor.
Okay, so each tip of your
Oh,
collar
yeah,
had
each.
that. You had an eagle insignia on it.
Well, the eagle is on All of our uniforms.
Okay, and probably on most military uniforms at
think
that
it
point. You had a wonderful, wonderful victory medal. You want to tell us a story about your victory medal?
My victory medal just appeared to me one day, probably about 12 years after I was out of service. I picked it up out of the mailbox. It came in an envelope in the mailbox.
And what did you think it was?
I had no idea. I think they told me at the time, but I forgot. I think it must have been, when it came in, it must have had a name on it, but I forgot. So I just told people it was a good conduct medal because it sounded good.
Of course it sounded good, and it looks great on your uniform. Now, what about the insignia on your sleeves?
C, which was a cook.
You were a cook.
I was a cook.
For the men and women, or just?
No, just for the women.
Okay. And you have a red chevron.
That's a Seaman third class chevron.
Okay, now what about your buttons? What did the buttons on your uniform look like?
They were just an anchor.
An anchor. So you really looked great in this uniform. Did you wear it all the time?
Oh, definitely. Oh, no. When you were working, you wore dungarees and a chambray shirt.
Okay. And when you were marching, were you in your uniform?
You were in the uniform.
And then when you were off duty and around your barracks, you just wore whatever you wanted?
Right.
Okay. Now, when you finally got assigned someplace, where were you assigned when you left Manhattan Beach?
Washington, D.C.
And did you like living in Washington, D.C.?
Yes, I did. It was wonderful.
Did you live in a rooming house or?
Oh, I lived in the dormitory.
And you had a roommate again?
I had a roommate.
And how did you get around Washington, D.C.?
Well, there's buses who walked. We did a lot of walking. I did a lot of bicycle riding and that.
That's just fabulous. I love all of this. So now, why did you leave the SPARS in 1947?
Well, they kicked me out.
For what reason? We've already been told you were given a good conduct medal.
Yeah, no, it went back into the Treasury Department, and the SPARs were closed down. Everybody was out because there was no longer need for us. There were no longer SPARs.
Right. This was a temporary measure put in by Roosevelt. The war ended and the SPARs ended too. Today, the Coast Guard is under control of Homeland Security.
Yeah, I know.
Unless it's requested by the Navy. So you've kind of touched on many different departments in our government with that. Now, when did you marry?
When
did you get married?
1952.
And what was the name of your husband?
Leonard Basler.
Okay, and what can you tell us about your wedding? Was it a big wedding, a small wedding?
A very small wedding.
Where? Where were you married?
Where was I married? I was married in the pastor's house.
In what city?
Ypsilanti.
Oh, Ypsilanti. All right. See, when I see Ypsilanti, I say it the way it looks, but you say Ypsilanti.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but you are more
I don't know. I say it the way I guess everybody was saying it.
And how did you meet Leonard Basler?
Through friends.
Okay. And how long were you married?
Not quite 25 years.
Oh, that's a long time, though. It means it was a successful union.
Yeah.
Now, did he serve in the war, World War II?
He was a Marine with a Purple Heart. He got a Purple Heart.
Why? How come the Purple Heart?
He lost half of his foot.
Lost half of his foot?
Well, he lost the ankle off his foot. You know.
Where was he serving?
He was in the Illusions. He was in the Pacific. The Marines' 1st Division in the Pacific was Oklahoma and Guam and all of that stuff.
So he lost part of an ankle. Was it shot? Did he get
shot off?
Shot off. And then did this continue? Was he able to walk?
Oh yeah. The doctor told him that it was the first plastic joint that they ever put in.
Really? So
that was in San Diego at the Navy Hospital.
Mm-hmm. Did he always have a limp, or was he just a straight walker after that? Was he bothered by it?
He had a limp.
All right. And you told me that when he died, you never got an American flag.
No, I never did.
That's terrible.
I don't want one. I don't have any place for one. But
Well, you do fly an American flag in front of your
he's-
house in Ypsilanti.
I think that the Legion was the ones that always gave the purple flag, but I don't know how come he didn't. Of course, he belonged to the VFW. but
Sure. Well, he should have had a
That
flag, I
shouldn't have
think.
made a difference.
No, I agree. He should have gotten a flag.
Well,
now,
I know he should have, but
Yeah.
I don't want one.
Right.
I wouldn't want one.
now, children, how many children did you have?
I had 3 children.
Okay, names?
Arden and Charles and Helen.
And Helen. And Arden is named for a brother of yours, I think, right? It's a
Yeah.
family name. All right, there we go. And Arden and Charles are both born on what day?
April the 1st.
April Fool's Day.
Yep.
What a joke on Mom, huh?
Yeah, what a joke. Yeah.
2 babies and 2 birthdays on that, not twins, having to share parties.
Yeah.
All right, now you have gone on 2 honor flights to Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
to see the monuments. Can you tell us about the first one, which was in 2007?
That was Pride and Honor flight.
Pride and Honor. Mhm.
We took, and there was all these, just the veterans, and there was not. And a veteran, if you're in a wheelchair, you had a escort.
Okay.
And you're supposed to have an escort for every 2 or 3 or 4 people, I forget which. And you just went there, and we saw the monument. We were there not as long as we were when we went with
The
this,
Rosies.
whatever this other flight was. We were, because we came home. See.
Well, let's see. You were given a T-shirt for the Pride
Yeah,
and
we're
Honor
given-
flight, and this was men and women veterans who went in.
Oh,
so
yeah, it was
you
all-
went on that one because you were a veteran of the Coast Guard,
Yeah.
and then you went again in 2015 with the Rosies
So that
from
was the-
Willow Run,
Yeah.
and you saw the same monuments. You had that wonderful reception.
Yeah, I don't remember when I was there with the Pride and Honor flight of going to Arlington, but we must have gone, because you always go to Arlington.
Yeah, everybody does that.
I do remember that we stopped to eat. Oh, must have been before we got on our flight. We stopped at a cafeteria or something to eat. So
And I know that whenever the honor flights go to D.C., they get wonderful receptions wherever they go. People cheer and applaud and
that's it.
thank you, and it's
we
good.
got that too. We got that before we left, people, because everybody had to get out of the way and let these here veterans get on this plane, and
Sure.
so yeah.
Must have been nice to go back to Washington, D.C. after having lived there too. Kind of
Well,
fun.
it was, but it was so different.
Yes, it is different.
They didn't have. Well, we had buses back there then, but you know now they got these tunnels and everything.
Subways, the
and,
Metra,
I probably couldn't get around there.
Well, maybe you could if we gave you a bicycle and said,
Yeah.
now go back the
I
old
didn't
way.
ride the bicycle in town too much.
Okay.
Too much traffic.
Yeah, it's safer to not do it
Oh,
that
it was
way.
awful lot of traffic in D.C. More so than there was in New York, I think.
Now, when you think back of those war years, both your time at Willow Run and your time in the Coast Guard, what's an overall feeling you have for those years? Does any 1 or 2 ideas come to mind about that portion of your life?
I don't really know. I've never thought of it. You know, I was young, and I guess I just figured I'd stay young forever.
Well, you have stayed young forever. How old are you going to be on your next birthday?
96.
96, so you're still. And to prove how young you are, what kind of volunteering do you still do every day in your hometown of Ypsilanti?
Oh, I don't do it every day.
Well-
On Mondays I do Meals on Wheels. I deliver Meals on Wheels. And Wednesday I take an exercise class and I call bingo in the afternoon. And two Thursdays a month I work at the thrift shop.
And you are very involved with the historic, with the Rosies, the tribute Rosies here
Yeah.
at Willow Run. You go to parades and you go on trips and you talk to places, and you are one of our best tribute Rosies, where you're an original Rosie that helps the tribute Rosies get this message about.
Yes, I'm a Rosie.
You're a Rosie. Is there anything else you'd like to add to this interview that I didn't ask you?
No, I can't think of anything. I think you asked me more than I even remembered.
Well, you did a fabulous job with it. And Virginia, we thank you for sharing your interesting story with us. We thank you for giving your strength and patriotic energy to America in the 1940s, and for doing your part to help win the war. You have made a difference in this world, and you are truly a heroine. The tribute Rosies from the Yankee Air Museum at the historic Willow Run B-24 bomber plant are honored to send your story and pictures to the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. as part of the Veterans History Project. Thank you for everything.
Well, thank you for having me.